Today, we're going to move the 4 cherry logs that Phil, Alan, and I bucked, and the tree we cut down maybe a month or so ago, and just get them on my neighbor's property to stage them there in anticipation of bringing them to the sawmill to make nice boards out of them. So, I did a quick video of this before. It's my log arch I built, and I just built it out of 3-inch square steel and welded her up, and it's pretty simple. I did buy the axles and the wheels. Well, the axle stubs, they're called stubs. And what I did is I just welded these guys onto here, like this, like that, and made this. I had to add these little braces here because it was getting a little bit weak for the heavy logs. It'll do logs 28-inch diameter, and it's really designed for logs up to about 12 foot long because the distance between the front and the back is about 6 feet. So I can't take my 18-foot logs on this. That's why I've been dragging them out by hand. The only issue I have with it is it is a little bit top heavy when it's unloaded. And what I mean by that is it'll tip over if I'm not careful. So I gotta be really careful going up and down some of these hills. And what I did though is a little bit different. I started off with 1 winch just to lift the logs up, had a manual winch here. That was a fail because my arm was getting tired lifting things up. But right now this works out pretty well. So let's do a video, let's get rolling, and wish me luck. It's cold outside, but I've been colder. How many people know when it's minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, what's temperature centigrade? Minus 40. Don't ask why I know that, but I used to live in a country many years ago, and I spent a lot of time outside when it was 40 below. And it was hilarious because centigrade equaled Fahrenheit. And that was a little bit nippy. What do we got here? I think I got Paula's gloves. Got Paula's gloves, got my gloves. So this is a little bit sketchy. You'll see going up these hills. Hopefully this will work out all right. But let's get rolling. Without the backup camera, this would not be effective at all because what you can't see is I'm looking at the backup camera all the time. This is a fairly long wheelbase, not wheelbase, fairly long tongue on it basically. It's a big tongue. It's, you know, it goes 10 feet behind or 8 feet behind me. So I am on it all the time. And not that I've ever driven a tractor trailer, but it's kind of like driving a tractor trailer. Swing wide and pay attention, which is what we're doing. So the hardest part of this project moving for logs is getting my log lift up there. So it gets to my point, oh, well, let's go get a sawmill, let's make money. You know, I built this log lift, it's got, you know, a lot of steel in it, a lot of time welding it. It's got winches, got chains, it all costs money. This stuff doesn't come cheap. And we don't do it for money. I've received no money for any of the wood we've sold. And I don't want to. We donate it. We enjoy doing it. One of my neighbors said, wow, you must make a lot of money selling all that wood. Like, well, first of all, we don't sell it. Second of all, even if I did sell it, I'd have a hard time paying anything off. And you can't see this, but I am swinging wide and all that kind of stuff. I'll reverse this camera so you can see where I'm going, but I've got over my first bridge, and I've got my second bridge right now. And the bridges are designed for, you know, to be 60 inches wide, so they're a little bit snug, but it works out all right. The hardest part we're going to come up to right now, and I will put it in four-wheel drive, and I will see what it looks like. It's not a big deal, but it's not a flat and level project. So let me turn this off and let me hang on a second. Now, this is a shortcut, and I've tipped over my log arch on this path before. It was not amusing. And the problem is, I'm an old man and lifting it up is hard. So I'm just going to go really, really, really slowly There's no springs in it, no suspension. I don't want to get it going over. And you'll see it in the back, I am sure. There we go. Once I get on this road at the top of this hill, I'm pretty safe, actually. We got a piece of wood in the way again already. Arrgh, story of my life. God damn it. All right, well, we're here. This is where we cut down these nice cherry logs. So Phil, Alan, and I, a few weeks ago, cut these guys down. It's a nice tree here. Look at the size of these guys. Beautiful logs. Give you a little bit of reference as my footsie. There's the base of it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 gorgeous ones and some smaller ones. So what we're gonna do, with any luck, is we will pull these out one at a time and stage them to get ready to go to the mill. So loading the logs onto the log arch is not really hard. With the 2 inches, it's pretty easy. The best way to do it, though, is if I can back onto the log, and that way I don't need to winch them on here. This first one here, I just pulled it out until I got my process figured out anyway. And it worked out okay. You have to just reset the log tongues 2 or 3 times, keep pulling it back, and lift it up. Not hard, doesn't take long. Physically, it's easy to do, and it just works out pretty well. So what you don't see, and you might see at the bottom of the hill as I'm pulling these guys out, it's where water accumulates and it gets kind of mushy. But hopefully it'll be dry enough to get these through. If I can make it up here and up the hill, we'll be in good shape. But I've been stuck before there dragging logs out. We are rolling, leaving for Charlie's property. The sketchiest part here is going to be going up a hill which has a lot of mud on it. Let's hope it's dry enough out here, because if my tires fill up with mud, we're gonna have to dump the log off and do something different. A bigger tractor. All right, here goes. Coming up on officially the end of our property, and this property abuts to Middle Plantation. Great, sticking away. I've already cleared 3 out. I didn't video that. The property marker down to my left is a big stone. Actually, I got to pay attention here. The big stone has initials PH, Puttington Hopkins, I believe, on it. But this is a little bit sketchy because it can be very slippery down here. So let me pay attention here. Do some driving things, you know. Alright, I think I got through there without getting mudded. Hardest part of the drive right there. This hill is not a big hill, and I've got traction and it's dry out, so no issues. Oak tree right to my right. It's a leaner into another tree, so he's going to rot out where he is. car coming up to Charlie's farm. Charlie, the electrician, not my other neighbor. He's an excavator. A beautiful day. There's a nice view of Middle Plantation. Good spot as any. All right, one down, 4 more to go. I thought I had a total of 4, but I've got a total of 5. The next one will go a lot quicker. Watch how smart we get. All right, well, here we go. Here's my logs. As you can see, my log lift is at the other end. So let me try and do a turnaround. So in all my brilliance, what I decided to do is, if you see right in front of me, there's a clear path to an open field. And I was going to go up there, turn around by driving in a circle and coming back. Works out way better. Let's think of this. So the best way to do this is get these first 2 done and out of here, because once I get them out, I can swing wider. If you don't see those, you gotta be real careful because I'm gonna hit those other logs. There we go. And this guy wants to tip over. Not bad. All right, there we go. All right, so on the road with log number 2. As you can see, it worked out a lot better when I did a little U-turn up there on my neighbor's property, and then I could just pull a log out and not have to doink around trying to unhook this thing, reverse it 180 degrees, turn the Kubota around, blah, blah, blah. That worked out swimmingly well. And this goes pretty quick now. I've got a process figured out, and we'll get the rest of these loaded up and get them out of there. So what I do here is when I transport it, I loosen the winches up a little bit so the log bouncing up and down does not destroy the gears on the winches. So when I get off, the first thing I do is I got to tighten the winches up to relieve the tension on the chains. So I pull it up tight again. After I pull both winches up tight, then I take my chains off, see that, flop them on the ground, lower the winches, and then we're ready to rock and roll and get moving. All right, log number 3 on the road. Let her rip, Tater Chip. So just in case you didn't notice this, we're actually getting a little bit smarter here. So instead of backing the log up to where I'm going to dump it off, there's plenty of room. So I do the circular driveway thing, and I drive down past the front end loader, right to where I want them dropped off, and then I stop. Boy, this is going quickly now. All right, so now we got 3 out of 4 done. We'll load up the 4th and 5th logs and finish up with this project. But as you can see, after we get going, we kind of have a rhythm here. We've got a good process figured out. I'll do a U-turn up here where this cherry tree is on my neighbor's property. I get to where I'm going to drop them off. I don't need to do a U. All I have to do is just drive in a circle, and it works out really well. All right, here we go. Last log to go. And we're on with the program here. And just to show you what we got, this is going pretty smoothly. We get into the rhythm, and what I'll do is I will pull this guy out a little bit, back into him, way easier than doing anything else. And it kind of works okay. And I'll turn around on Mrs. Anderson's property. And just so you take a look at this beautiful cherry tree. That's a nice sized stump. There you go. That gives you an idea of the size of it. If you see my foot, what is it? It's probably 2. I don't know what it is. It's big. Well, not about big, but for Maryland, it's a nice sized tree. It's an older tree. Can't quite tell how old it is. But let's get cracking, get on with the program here. Well, what I've done here is sped this up quite a bit. But just for reference purposes, it takes me, once I've got a process, about 10 minutes by the time I get to where the logs are to get it loaded up to drop off another load. So 10 minutes to load one up and hit the road. Company now. Anybody want a good multi-purpose tool, this is it. I had one of the little C-clips fall off this thing, and they have a lifetime warranty, so I sent them an email. Like 2 months later, I got a new Gerber tool and those little C-clips. And it was nice because the old one had sentimental value because it had been with me to Iraq and to Afghanistan and to Bosnia and all these vacation spots. So good on them. It's a Fiskars company now, not a sponsor. So let me turn this bad boy around and get out of here and be done for the day. Well, there you go. So that's what it takes to move out 5 logs. I moved these logs probably half a mile through the woods, through my neighbor's field to a staging place. Next step, though, is to get them loaded up on a trailer, take them to the mill. And that's a whole nother effort. Gets back to my point. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to make boards out of logs, especially if you got to transport them out of the woods into a sawmill. No big deal. We're having a great day. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the day. We got 5 of these logs moved. It was 1 cherry tree. I'm guessing it was 20 some odd inches at the base. I mean, these sticks here are 20 inches, 20 some odd inches. It's a nice piece of wood, and it's in really, really good shape. Again, my point is I've spent 3 hours here moving these guys today just to stage them to put them on my trailer. So Phil, Al, and I spent half a day cutting the trees down, another couple hours getting them out of the woods. Now, if we did this on a commercial basis, it'll be a little different story, but we don't. We do it for fun, and it's a hobby. We love the outdoors. And today, by the way, is a gorgeous day in Maryland. It's going to be 60 degrees. That's the bonus of living here. You know what I mean? Middle of January and December, we have our 60-degree days. Today's one of them, so it's nice outside. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll be cutting these guys up in the next month or so, and we'll get some nice boards out of them. Who needs cherry boards? Give me a shout. That's it. End of the show. Again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care and have a great day. And Happy New Year.